Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Today is October the 1st, so happy 1st of October. My name is Becky, my email address is here, becky@tradictive.com. You've also got support@tradictive.com as well, so you can use that if you have any questions or need to email us about anything. By all means, email us there. Also, in the top left-hand corner, just need to make sure that the disclaimers are being covered. So just read those on the top left-hand corner, just to understand what you can expect from these kind of videos. Now, a 3D market commentary, for those that might be new to it, essentially every day we send out an email to our free members that has information on 5 of the major markets in the world, and we look at 3 separate elements. That's why we call it a 3D market commentary. So if you don't have that and want to get it, what you can do is go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. At the top, you can get yourself a free membership. And then from there, you'll get that email every day and you'll be looking at what I'm looking at. And we do these videos every day, Monday to Friday, to just expand on it, explain it a little bit. From this link, you can also book one-on-one coaching if you want and ask a question here in this public space, which is good because then other people can see the answers and other people can see the questions. So let's just make sure that we come back to our 3D market commentary. So we've got our news flash on the left. That's the email that we send out. And on the right is obviously the markets that it refers to. So we call it a 3D approach because, like I said, we look at 3 different things. First thing we look at is market climate, upcoming market direction. Meaning, do we have probability upwards? Do we have probability downwards? And therefore, do we buy or do we sell? So in order to help us with this, we use a free app. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can get it on. And that helps us figure out where we have probabilities, up or down, and therefore do we buy or sell. So ignore the lines for now, just focus on the dots. If we had a thick blue dot, that tells us probability up, so we should look to buy. If we had a thick red dot, that tells us probability down, we should look to sell. And if we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us not enough probability either way, and therefore do nothing. Change time frame, change market. No point trading something where we don't have at least probabilities one way or the other. So once you've figured out where probabilities are you going to buy or sell, you might want to know, where am I going to buy or sell? Where specifically? And that's where we use this second element here, our buy and sell UFOs. UFO stands for unfilled orders. And essentially what we're doing is we want to know is, where are the buyers and where are the sellers? So we use an app again to help us figure this out. It's called AutoUFOs. And where we have these green areas, and it tells us the prices on the side as well, that tells us where the buyers are. So that means we know we're going to buy there. Because if we have more buyers than sellers, it's more likely to push price up, of course. So we want to know where the buyers are, because if we buy with lots of buyers, more likely to go up. If we're selling, and again, we've got the prices here, it tells us where to sell. If we're selling, we want to know where the sellers are, because if there's lots of sellers, they're more likely to beat the buyers, push price down. So we want to know where they are. And again, we use an app to show us on the chart where they are. And then the last thing we look at is volatility. How quickly could these markets be moving? And therefore, what's the risk involved or potential risk involved versus the reward? So we'll look at that per market, starting with the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is the top 500 stocks in the US. And we're looking at a daily chart for it, which means we are looking at everything relative to a daily chart. If you're looking at different timeframes, things are slightly different. So when it comes to the top 500 US stocks, I'm just going to squidge this a bit here so we can really see what's going on. We have a confirmed downwards climate. That tells us probability is downwards, so we should look to sell. Now, usually the market would go down for 3 candles, and we're on candle number 3. So kind of come to the end of what would be a normal move to the downside. That's not to say it's going to change. Of course, we go past what's normal or we fall short of what's normal. That's how we get a normal in the middle. But the fact that it has come to the end of what's normal means that as it goes past this, it sort of starts to lack probability, but still overall probability down. We also have sell orders much closer to us. So these sell orders are between 43.89 to 43.44.25, and they're really close to us. We've then got quite a bit of space before we get to buy orders. They're all the way down here at 41.23 to 40.55.50. So overall, probability down here with the S&P 500, probability down on US stocks. Not 100% as we'd want it to be, but still overall probability down. Now notice I'm using words like probability, statistically, things like that. We never know 100% what's going to happen, not in life and not in the markets. So of course we need to be careful, manage our risk, but there's no point trading if we don't at least have some probabilities, which is why we use these apps to help us figure out where they lie. Now, when it comes to volatility on the S&P, these movements, or these numbers that I'll give you, refer to moving up or down within these given periods of time. So within 1 year, we would expect the S&P to move up or down by 23.92%. So that means in a day, that's 64.5 points. In a week, 141.98 points. In a month, 295.56 points. So that's what we'd expect on the S&P. So moving on to the next market, which is oil. So having a look at oil, and in the meantime, it says up here about educating yourself. So there are different courses you can do in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, psychology. So check those out if you wish. Most of them come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. So you can get Auto Climate for free on most platforms anyway. AutoUFOs is a paid for app. It's a subscription. You can subscribe directly to it. You don't have to do a course. It's whatever you think is best. Most of the time it works out cheaper to do a course and get the apps for free for 3 months anyway than to just get the apps, if that makes sense. Okay, so with oil, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot here, probability upwards. Now, usually oil would go up for 7 candles. Again, just rounding that up. We're on candle number 7. So again, that tells us that we've come to the end of what would be a usual move upwards. However, we do go past what's normal, so it's not to say it's going to change. We do have buy orders beneath us. That's at 71.48 to 69.39. And as you can see, no sell orders above us. So we do still have room to move upwards. Still overall probability up here with oil. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in a year of 38.68%, which means in a day, up or down of 1.81 points. In a week would be 3.99 points, and in a month is 8.31 points. So that's what we'd expect on oil in terms of movement up or down. So that's oil, overall probability up. Next market is gold, so let's check that out. So just before we load the gold chart, it says down here about coaching and support. We do offer a bunch of coaching and support for free. So you can check that out on YouTube and Facebook and things like that. We do loads of sessions for free, answer your emails and stuff as well, of course. We also do a closed coaching community. So it's a small monthly fee for more access to us, more of our time in a closed environment. But either way, you still get access to our support. So do what's best for you there. With gold, we have an unconfirmed climate. So see here, it's a thin dot. So what that tells us is we don't have enough probabilities either way, not up or down, which means we do nothing. No point trading something that we don't have probabilities on. Change to a different market, change to a different time frame. No need to trade something that's not got any confirmed probabilities either way. Now we have sell orders above us at 1866 to 1804.4. We've got buy orders a little way below us at 1652.8 to 1624.4. Overall, not close enough to either one of them for them to make a difference today, and not confirmed on the climate. So I would say no point really trading anything on gold today. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in a year of 17.16%. So in a day, that's 18.97 points. In a week, 41.77 points. And in a month, 86.95 points, which is that one there. Okay, next market. Next market is the US dollar. Now, the US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide every single day. So even if you don't trade it, be aware of it because it will impact nearly every other market you could be trading. So with the dollar, we have a confirmed upwards climate, thick blue dot there, probability upwards. Now, this is an example of where we sometimes go quite far past what's normal. Usually, the US dollar goes up for 5 candles and we're on candle number 11. So we've gone more than twice as far as what would be normal. Again, that's not to say it's going to change anytime soon. It just means the further we go past what's normal, the less probability we have. So bear that in mind. Now we have sell orders above us here at 95.375 to 94.775. And we've got buy orders here at 93.495 to 93.195. Unlikely to hit either stack of them today. So overall, it's the climate that's currently still pushing the US dollar upwards. Now, the US dollar is the least volatile market that we look at. It would only go up and down in a year by 5.4%. So that means in a day, 0.32 points. In a week, 0.71 points. And in a month, 1.47 points. So that's the US dollar. Overall slight probability up. Last market here is Bitcoin. So let's check that out. As I load it, it says down here at the bottom, interested but have questions. You can schedule a call with us, check out what's going to be better for you in terms of courses, memberships or whatever. Maybe nothing at all, but you can check with us and have a chat. With Bitcoin, we also have an unconfirmed climate. Thin blue dot there, doesn't really matter the colour, it's thin. That tells us not enough probability, no point doing anything. If you don't have probabilities up or down, no point buying or selling. Now we do have sell orders up here at 57,975 to 54,500. Buy orders down here at 32,820 to 31,615. So quite far away from current price. It'd have to move quite a bit to get there. So again, not probabilities either way with Bitcoin today. In terms of volatility, Bitcoin is the most volatile market that we look at out of the 5. It would move up or down in 1 year of 89.66%, which means in a day, 2,657.41. In a week is 5,850.01. And in a month is 12,177.77. So that's what we'd expect in terms of volatility. So for each of these markets, we've had a look at climate, which tells us do we have probability up or down or nowhere. We've then had a look at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up or sellers that could push price down? Where are they? And we've looked at volatility, which is how quickly do the markets move within these given periods of time. If you have any questions on that, you can email me, becky@tradictive.com, or you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, get yourself a free membership, and then you can ask in this public space, which is great because I can then answer it in this public space so other people can see the answer and the question, so we all learn together. Now, just to bring this news flash back up one more time, just to show you as well, we have our weekly economic calendar that we look at. All we've done is we've gone to fxstreet.com, we get it from there, and we filter by high impact news. Not because we care what the news is, but just because if we're going to have scheduled news reports that are likely to have high impact, they're likely to increase volatility. So with today being Friday, we had some news early in the morning that could have affected the euro, and we've got news coming out very soon on the US dollar, the Chinese yuan, and the Indian rupee. So if you trade in those markets or trade those currencies, be aware of that. Otherwise, we're clear pretty much over the weekend. So I will see you guys. I'll be back on Monday morning. Hopefully you guys have a great end to your trading week, a great weekend ahead of you. I'll see you on Monday. If you need anything, give us an email and take care. See you soon.